I asked a question about repeating umrah. She says, I've read quite a few books, and in there, there's some advice that if you want to do a second umrah, go to Masjid Aesha in Jeddah, or the outskirts of Mecca, sorry. She says that now I've heard other opinions that this is not allowed. This is something which is not from the Sunnah. Can you just clarify this, Sheikh?
Let me explain to you the differences with this regard. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam performed one Hajj in his entire lifetime, in the 10th year. And he performed 4 Umrahs in his entire lifetime. Whenever he used to come for Umrah, like let's take for example Umratul Hudaybiyah, which followed the year of the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah, Umratul Qada, that he traveled all the way from Al-Madinah to Mecca. We're talking about 400 to 500 kilometers that he traveled on the back of his camel along with his companions. And he spent this entire time in Mecca to perform one Umrah. So this is the Hajj, the tradition, the footsteps, the prescription of a Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Imagine somebody travel from Al-Madinah to Mecca on the back of his camel, and for years he's been banned from entering Mecca or performing tawaf. Now he will be very eager to perform 10 Umrahs. As we see, people perform 2 and 3 and 4 Umrahs a day, and they compete with one another with this regard. They do the Umrah, they shave and or trim, then they jump in the minibus or the cab, they go to Masjid Aesha, they return back and forth, 4 and 5 Umrahs a day. This is not the hadi of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he assigned the whole trip to perform one Umrah. Also when he was performing Hajj, same thing. So the question is it proper to perform more than one Umrah in the trip? We say the best in the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ is to perform only one Umrah on behalf of yourself. Some people say, but I would like to perform an Umrah on behalf of my dead father or my dead mother or whatever. You may. And the scholars said that you have to go to the closest hill, not necessarily Masjid Aesha. Mecca is surrounded with borders. This sanctuary, once you step out, you are in the hill. But this is a place where when Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha wardaha joined the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam fi Hajjat al-Wada', and she had her period upon entering Mecca, and she started crying. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, have you had your period? She said, yes. So he realized. They said, don't you cry. This is something that Allah has ordained on the daughter of Eve. So it's not your fault. There is no sin or blame on you. Calm down. Do everything that the Hajj, the pilgrim, will do, except that do not do tawaf. على ألا تطوفي بالبيت. Because a tawaf, or circumambulating the house or the Kaaba, is salah, requires tahara from both the minor and the major impurity. Then after she finished the Hajj, the Prophet ﷺ said, then after your tahara and your purity, this tawaf and this sa'i will be valid for both your Hajj and Umrah. Even though you only do one tawaf and one sa'i, but guess what? That is for both your Hajj and Umrah. So you get the thawab anyway, you get the reward. But after she finished, she said, Ya Rasulullah, that everybody came and performed Umrah and Hajj. How come I just go home and I just perform the Hajj? Even though the Prophet ﷺ informed her that by performing tawaf and sa'i, this is for both your Umrah and your Hajj. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, out of mercy, sent with her Abdul Rahman, the son of Abi Bakr, her brother. Imagine, he had to send a mahram, even though it's driving distance. It's 5 to 10 minutes to Al-Hil, where she went to a place outside the sanctuary of Mecca, outside Al-Haram, where she renewed an intention of performing ihram, labbaik Allahumma umratan. Then she returned. This place ever since is known as At-Tan'im or Masjid Aesha. That's why they call it Masjid Aesha. May Allah be pleased with her. So if one is in Mecca and wants to perform Umrah, must go to the hill, whether Masjid Aesha, At-Tan'im, or any point outside the sanctuary of Mecca. Back to the main question, which is it permissible to perform more than one Umrah? We said it is best not to. But if you do it, the Umrah is accepted, but it is not the Hajj of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh.